That's the sound of the David Shorten podcast. The Short and Sweet podcast. It's been a while. Welcome back. I didn't tell you guys I was going to Spain, but that is what is happening. I went to Spain. Sorry, my mic's not close enough to my face. I went to Spain, so that's why I haven't done a podcast in 3 weeks.
You know, it is, it's just awfully good that someone with the temperament of Donald Trump is not in charge of the law in our country.
Because you'd be in jail.
Secretary Clinton.
Okay, sorry. So I forgot to take that noise clip out of the podcast after the last time because the last podcast was like right after the debate and we had a thug life moment with Donald Trump. So sorry about that. Anyway, yeah, so I went to Spain, so I've been away. I got coasters to give to my friends as souvenirs. España. I went to, I'm going to give you some quick suggestions if you ever go to Spain. Try to go to places that aren't Madrid and Barcelona. We went to Barcelona, Valencia, Seville, Madrid, and probably my favorite places were Valencia and Seville. Barcelona feels like it doesn't have an identity because they're in Catalonia and Catalonia. I don't know how to say it in English. Anyway, they're trying to separate. So it's a lot like the situation in Quebec in Canada, with I don't think Quebec really wants to separate that much anymore. But it got me thinking about division, and I guess as a warning, this might be a little bit more political than I usually get, but I'm at a loss as to really what my philosophy is about cultural and political division, because I tend to want to be against division because it's kind of a never-ending cycle. If you divide once, you can always divide again. Like if say Catalonia succeeded in separating from the rest of Spain, there's no reason why they couldn't just get mad again at another region of Catalonia that was underperforming. Because that is a lot of the time what the cause of division is that one wealthy part of a country is like, hey, we're making all the money and you're just passing it around to each other, and we feel like you're just sucking money out of us, so why don't we just be independent? So if you be independent, then you can always just look at whatever the least performing part of your region is and be like, hey, how come you're taking all our money? And then you can separate off from them, and it just never ends. You can just keep dividing and dividing over and over again. So I tend to not be really for that, but at the same time, I do empathize with cultures who aren't being respected by their representatives, and that may be the case in Spain. I haven't done enough research really to know anything about it. Maybe the case in Canada and a lot of cases in the States. I've heard talk of Texas wanting to secede. It's a hard problem to really get past, and I don't know really what my opinion on is that. I'd love for feedback on that. What do you guys think about division? Do you think it's good for regions to be independent? Do you think that they should have the right to just be like, you know what, we're gonna branch off. We're going to form our own government. Why is my face so shiny? Oh my goodness. Anyway. So yeah, I was thinking about that. That's all I really have to say about that. I guess we can go right to our music segment earlier than we normally do. I prepared the beat in advance this time.
In our lives, we all have pain, we all have sorrow. But if we are wise, we know that there's always tomorrow. Lean on me when you're not strong. I'll be your friend, I'll help you carry on. Lean on me, for it won't be long till I'm gonna need somebody to lean on. Lean on me when you're not strong. I'll be your friend, I'll help you carry on. Lean on me, for it won't be long till I'm gonna need somebody to lean on. Please swallow your pride if I've got things you need to borrow. For you cannot get what you need if you do not let it show. Lean on me when you're not strong. I'll be your friend, I'll help you carry on. Lean on me, for it won't be long till I'm gonna need somebody to lean on. Lean on me when you're not strong. I'll be your friend, I'll help you carry on. Lean on me, for it won't be long till I'm gonna need somebody to lean on. Lean on me when you're not strong. I'll be your friend, I'll help you carry on. Lean on me, for it won't be long till I'm gonna need somebody to lean on. When you need a hand, you just need somebody to lean on. I just might have a problem that you'll understand. We all need somebody to lean on. You just call on a brother when you need a hand. We all need somebody to lean on. You just might have a problem that you'll understand. We all need somebody to lean on. You just call on a brother when you need a hand. We all need somebody to lean on. Just might have a problem that you'll understand. We all need somebody to lean on. Lean on me when you're not strong. I'll be your friend, I'll help you carry on. Lean on me, for it won't be long till I'm gonna need somebody to lean on. Lean on me when you're not strong. I'll be your friend, I'll help you carry on. Lean on me, for it won't be long till I'm gonna need somebody to lean on. Lean on me when you're not strong. I'll be your friend, I'll help you carry on. Lean on me, for it won't be long till I'm gonna need somebody to lean on. Lean on me when you're not strong. I'll be your friend, I'll help you carry on. Lean on me, for it won't be long till I'm gonna need somebody to lean on.
Thanks for listening. Now for the rest of the time, I wanted to talk about storytelling. I cannot stand how much sun is on my face right now. It's killing me. But I can't do anything about it. Stories. So, I gotta get my notes because this is really deep. So, I was thinking about... I like fantasy. I like fiction and fantasy and that kind of stuff because, to be honest, I feel I like believing things that probably aren't true. It's kind of like kids who want to believe in unicorns or something. Like it's because if unicorns were real, it'd be so cool. Like who wouldn't want something like that to be real? So I think I'm like that myself. Man, I need to fix that light. It's insane. Just a sec. Ugh. Did I get it? I didn't get it. Whatever. Wow, this is going to be the worst podcast ever, but... Okay, so, yeah. Stories. In a sense, people who write stories, specifically like allegorical stories, are kind of stealth philosophers because they have a philosophy which they want to communicate, but they don't want to just say it outright. Like a philosopher will just write a book and say, on the virtue of something, and then they'll say what they believe, and then they'll present their points in defense of it. It's very just like clean cut. But a storyteller, an allegorical storyteller, will present a philosophy and then cause you to align yourself with it by presenting a circumstance or characters that you sympathize with. And so it makes you believe what they want you to believe, even though before the story you might not have really been on that side. I think of Avatar. I remember watching Avatar with I'm not talking about Airbender, I'm talking about the blue people Avatar. I remember watching it with some friends, and you get to the part where like basically that evil army guy is trying to hunt down the main character, and they're in war in the forest, and these blue people, I don't freaking remember what you're supposed to refer to them at. Anyway, they're being killed, and their land's being destroyed. And I remember my friend who I was watching it with was just like, man, we humans suck. And I was just like, that is, I could see that, like, because you watch this and it's obvious that like the blue people are supposed to be basically Native Americans or something. Native Americans, First Nations, whatever. They represent basically people who were colonized. And then the evil white people come in and they want to take their land and take their stuff. And like the story is presenting it in presenting to you this story in order to make you sympathize with those characters. And it works. Even if it's not really as simple as that. Like there's so much more to the point than that. But the storyteller doesn't have to worry about that. The storyteller doesn't always have to make sure his arguments are complete in the same way that the philosopher does, because the philosopher is so much more plain about it. I would argue that a good storyteller should present a complete philosophy, even in an allegory, because otherwise it's irresponsible and it's dishonest, which I think it was in the case of Avatar. But I just find it interesting that the effect of a story on you is so much more real than sometimes reality is. Which brings me back to what I was saying before about wanting to believe that stories are real, because I think that you can say that they are. Because I guess you have to think about what you consider to be real. So, for instance, on my trip to Spain, I went to the top of Park Güell in Barcelona, and they have this cool little structure that you can that has spiral stairs going up to it, and you can go to the top and see the whole city in all directions. And it's this magnificent sight. And as amazing as it is, I was there for 5 minutes. And I couldn't have been there for more than 5 minutes, because you see it and you're like, okay, I saw it. And then you go. And it's kind of the irony of traveling, because you go to see all these amazing sights, and they are amazing. But then after you see them for 30 seconds, you're done. So that would be an example of something extremely real, something extremely tangible, which has less of an effect on you as something that isn't real does, like a story. A story can have a way more real and lasting effect on you than something actually real does. Someone is asking me to beatbox, so I will fulfill that request, and then I'll get back to what I was talking about. There. I did as you asked. Okay, so as I was saying, I think I like the idea of saying that fiction is real in a certain sense. It's obviously not real in that it's not tangible, it's not a real historical event, but it is real, because something that is not real cannot affect you as much as a story does. Like, you can reread a book or replay a video game or something like that and have the most nostalgic feeling ever, as if you were revisiting a part of your life, because you are revisiting a part of your life, because that story had enough of an effect on your life for it to bring out those feelings in you and have a lasting effect on you. But I do want to differentiate between something that is like, of all the things that are real, there are things that are really good and really bad, as in to the extent that they present a truth. Because a story might have an effect on you, but if the effect is a negative effect, what the story leads you to believe about reality is false, well, then that story is real, but it's really bad. Like, it's because it's not true. And so a story should say true things. It should make true observations about life. So anyway, that's all I want you to think about basically for the week, is how do you define what is real? Is it what is perceivable to your eyes, to your touch, to your senses? Or is it something that influences you? And next week we're going to talk about something similar, but it's going to be more about time. Because time is an interesting concept. Time is a really interesting concept. Thanks for tuning in. See you guys next week.